What's happening, people? Welcome back to Behind the Dugouts. And look, you know what? I get that the fixture congestion, the amount of games these players are playing, it's a nightmare, right? That's why the injuries are mounting up. Not just our team, but every team pretty much in the Premier League is suffering from some sort of injury crisis. And not just us, but globally, right? Teams are playing an astronomical amount of games, more than they ever have been. But having one game a week, it fucking sucks. I have been waiting for a game, a chance to watch a team, especially since the last game was so disappointing. So disappointing, obviously drawing to Burnley. And now, and we'll take a look at what we've got to come for the remainder of the season. It's tough. It is tough, but at least from this week, we are going back into like a game every 2 or 3 days. So we're going to get more football to watch, which is good. Let's just hope we actually perform while doing it. But at least this week, we got a bit of news that, if you're like me, you were quite happy to hear. Champions League draw Friday, it went down. One side of London got a very favourable pathway to the final. Not saying it's going to be easy for them, but they did get a more favourable side than what we did. However, who we did get is actually someone that I did want to get, because I felt like we needed to shut them up twice, because they've done a lot of talking since the Club World Cup final. And PSG, I'm talking about you. Chelsea do have PSG in the next round of the Champions League, and it is round 2. It is get your gloves. It's time to go again. We know what happened in the Club World Cup. We've got the badge to prove it. Cole Palmer, João Pedro will be licking their lips at the opportunity to do it all over again. Except this time it is over 2 legs, of course, being it's round 16. But I am happy that we've got PSG. You know, they clearly were not happy, not just the fact that they lost. We saw how heated it got at the end of the game. I think Luis Enrique completely lost his head and went after. I want to say it was João Pedro. I could be wrong. Correct me in the comments if it was a different player. But he went after one of the players at the end of the game. So they clearly didn't take that loss very, very well. Which, of course, they wanted to be world champions. But there can only be one. And we are them. But now they have an opportunity to incite some revenge. This is what they've been talking about. You know, when before the draw was done and, you know, people were asking who you want, lots of Chelsea players were like, we'll take anybody. PSG were quite adamant, we want Chelsea. We want revenge. So now they've got an opportunity to do it. However, Chelsea have an opportunity to do it all over again. To put them back down a peg like we did in the Club World Cup final. And look, like any time, and we say this quite often, you know, over a 38-game league period, Chelsea, you never know what you're going to get, even back in the day. You know, in a cup competition, you can never, ever write us off. It is where we flourish. Especially, we'll go into this game exactly like we did in the Club World Cup. We will go into this game as underdogs. People will be expecting PSG to batter us, to return the battering that we gave them in the Club World Cup. It's all going to be against us. And this is where we thrive the most as fans, as a club, being in that position as the underdog. It works for us, man. It works for us. And I've got a good feeling. I've got a good feeling that we will do it again. But let me know in the comments below how you feel this tie is going to go. Now, with that being said, right, PSG, of course, are going to be an incredibly tough game in the Champions League. And I'd love to sit here and say that the run leading up to the end of the season, because the fact that we've drawn to Leeds and Burnley, we have put ourselves in quite a bit of a predicament. You know, Man United, they're picking up points. They are literally, I think, a point or the exact same points as Villa at the moment. And Villa, they're doing everything they can to find themselves dropping out of top 4 right now. They are drawing, they are losing. Most recently, a 2-0 loss to Wolves last night. So they are doing everything they can to bottle their spot. Now, Chelsea, we're not taking advantage of any of this, because it's not the first time Villa have dropped points. Last 3 weeks, 3-4 weeks, they've dropped points, and we've not capitalised on it. And our next run of games, guys, the run leading up to the end of the season, it's not pretty. It's not pretty. In fact, I think out of us, Villa, Liverpool and United, who are in and around that place at the moment, I think we've got the hardest run. Let's take a look at some of the fixtures that are on the cards. Obviously, starting on the weekend with Arsenal. Right, like I said, we're starting off with Arsenal this weekend. Then we've got Villa, Wrexham in the FA Cup, PSG in the first round of the Champions League, then Newcastle, then PSG again, Everton, Man City, Man United, Brighton, Nottingham Forest, Liverpool, Tottenham, and on the last day, we've got Sunderland. That's not pretty. Not pretty in the slightest. We love doing it the hard way, right? We like making things incredibly difficult for ourselves. And I said this after the Burnley game. Now it is going to be tough. It is going to be incredibly tough. But there is one thing that I take out of this, that it does shimmer a bit of light in that ever so dark tunnel that a lot of people are looking down on. There are 3 teams in there, right, that we are playing against that are all vying for the same thing that we want, right? Champions League football. It is imperative that we get Champions League football next season. We've seen the reports regarding the financial situation, right? It's a mess. It is a mess. I'm going to save that for a different video. I don't want to talk about that now. I just want to focus on the football. But it is imperative that we get Champions League football, not just for now, but for the future, right? We are coming up against Liverpool, Villa, and Man United, all 3 teams that are vying for those 3 positions from 3rd down to 5th. Because yes, 3rd is a possibility now. With the form that Villa are in, they've put themselves back in this group that are vying for those spots. So we need to take maximum points in every single game that we're playing. And when we play against those 3 teams in particular, we need to make sure that we're winning them to get a leg up against them. I want to sit here and say that we're going to win every game this season towards the end. It's not going to happen. It is not. And I don't think any team, even those 3, are going to win every game. It is going to be, I wouldn't be surprised if you see United go above Villa, Villa drop down, Villa go below us, go back up, United drop down. It's going to be a carousel between all of the teams, because that's just what the Premier League is like, right? Because they are going to have tough games in there. And like I said, they will be playing us at some point. We just need to make sure that we maximise our opportunities in every single game, and we need to put on a hell of a run. We did it last season, right? But it was over a shorter amount of games. There's a lot of games left, and if we get through the Champions League next round, we got to add another 2 games in there. So it's going to be even more games. Same with the FA Cup. Get through to the next round, another game. There's still a lot to play for. And I know right now, amongst the fan base, as it should be, it looks dark, right? It looks dark because of the state that the club's being run, the predicament, the position that we have put ourselves in. Nobody else, we have put ourselves in. It does look dark. But like I said at the beginning of this video, right? When we are down and out, when we are expected not to make it, and we are the underdogs, that is when we thrive. That is when the fans find an extra voice. That's when the players find an extra gear. And of course, you make the argument these aren't the players of old. They did do it last season. They did get over the line. They did get Champions League football. A lot of people ripped them off before they did that run. They did win the Club World Cup. We weren't expected to win that. We weren't expected to beat PSG in the final, but we did. Conference League, I don't add into that because we were expected to win that. A team like Chelsea being in that competition, it's a foregone conclusion. But getting Champions League football and winning the Club World Cup, we were written off, but we did it. This is another opportunity, and that's just recent times. Thomas Tuchel, Champions League win. We weren't expected to win that. Di Matteo, we weren't expected to win that. This is what happens when we are the underdogs. So though it does look dark, it looks bleak, I'm still holding a candle to put that little bit of light down that tunnel, because I still think we can do it. But that's for me, guys. I'd love to get your thoughts on it. Let me know how you think this season is going to end. drop it in the comments below. I will be doing a match preview for the Arsenal game and then obviously doing a review after the game. The preview will be out later tonight. But for now, guys, take care of yourselves. Catch you in the next one. Peace.